You're watching Reality Check. The election of a new Congress president has for the longest time been a formality, as it is with the internal elections of most political parties. According to the Congress's rule book, a president's term is meant to be for 3 years. Sonia Gandhi has been president for over 2 decades. Her term is renewed automatically as a given. For the first time, though, in recent memory, the Congress's internal elections have come under intense scrutiny after a group of Congress leaders have pushed for transparency and a level playing field. The Congress claims they are following the rule book. Some of these dissenting leaders have raised doubts, worried that there's an attempt to quote-unquote gain the elections by issuing instructions from the top. As NDTV's Sunil Prabhu now reports, the Congress has informally asked all its state units to pass resolutions authorizing Congress President to decide who will head the state units, as well as to nominate the powerful members of the All India Congress Committee. Now, this would go against the Congress's own rule book, which says that key office bearers, including state unit chiefs and AICC members, all the way up to the President, are meant to be elected into office, not nominated by diktats from the top. While this kind of unofficial President will decide guidance has been the norm, for the first time, the Congress is getting state units to pass resolutions, in a sense officially bypassing the election process. So we actually contacted some state Congress units to ask them if indeed they had received such instructions, and Karnataka, informally, this is all of course they're telling us this off the record, they said that the High Command has in fact informally asked them to pass such a resolution and they'll be holding a meeting soon. Same in Assam, where again we were told off record that there's been a verbal instruction from the High Command to pass a one-line resolution by the end of the month. Again, same in Tripura. The High Command has informally asked us to pass a resolution. Sources on the state Congress telling us over there. All right, joining me tonight to debate this, we have with us Ashwini Kumar, former Congress leader, former minister, is here in the studio. Rashid Kidwai is a senior journalist, author, commentator on the Congress party. We have with us Sanjay Jha, political analyst. He was formerly with the Congress. And also here in our Delhi studios, Khushbu Sundar, BJP leader. Thank you all so much for being here. Ashwini Kumar, let me start by asking you that, as he said, that, informally, this has been the norm, that there's guidance from the top to say, listen, this is the person, just authorize Sonia Gandhi or whoever is the president to make all these appointments. But now, with so much scrutiny on the election process, again, when you come across the fact that there has been this Congress's, informal message to the state units that you pass such resolutions empowering the Congress president, is that particularly worrying?
But I don't think it is a matter of worry, because this was a foregone. Everybody knew that this is the Congress's way, and that has been the way for the last several decades, and I'm not so sure that it has not served the function well. It had succeeded in keeping the party together. The only difference was that the leadership stature was so tall in the past that nobody ever questioned the decision of the Congress president, and therefore the resolutions were passed seeking her guidance and her decision on who should be the president and who should be the members of the committee. Now, the issue is that whether today the rest of the people are prepared to accept that diktat or not. In my very considered opinion, and that is where I had joined the issue with G23, even while I was in the Congress party, there will be absolutely no resistance whatsoever to this process, because the Electoral College is a nominated college. An Electoral College is only expected to do the bidding of the establishment, and that has been the Congress's way, and I must repeat myself. It has served its purpose in the past. That this will serve its purpose now, I don't know, because the logic of the internal politics of the Congress party has changed. There was a time when the leader of the Congress carried the party on his or her shoulders. That is not happening anymore.
No, so exactly. So in the light of changed circumstances, Ashwini Kumar, surely isn't it important for the party, I mean, this applies to all parties, we're talking about the Congress tonight, for the party to change, that you actually follow your own rule book, where all these people, whether it's the state president or whoever, are elected, not simply, appointed by edicts from the top.
Srinivasan, listening to you, I'm reminded of whether somebody is arguing a case in a court of law. Look, politics is not a function of the rule book ever. Neither was it at any point of time. Politics is a function of real power, and it is inherent in the anatomy of power.
I'm not being naive. I understand that there's a gap between theory and practice, but I'm saying given the fact that, as you said, the Congress is in a different ball game, it's a party that's unraveling before its own eyes. There clearly doesn't seem to be that kind of leadership that you spoke about. Isn't this time to say, okay, let's have proper internal democracy. Let there be a contest, let, the best man or woman win.
That's the whole issue. You're asking yourself the wrong question. You are not naive at all. You are one of the finest anchors we have in the country. Don't misunderstand me. All I'm trying to tell you is that where the electoral college itself is virtually nominated, where is the logic of an election?
Right.
The nominated people are going to follow the diktat of their benefactors who nominated them in the first place. This has not changed. I could understand there's a new thing in the but that's not happening. It's not happening, and therefore, whatever the Congress president will decide will happen. Whether Mr. Rahul Gandhi contests the election or somebody else becomes president,
okay, so in that sense,
that it will be whichever way the decision of Sonia Gandhi.
Is that unfortunate, Sanjay Jha, that at the end of the day, it just turns out to be almost a kind of farcical exercise, just go through the motions of an election?
Is that nobody really knows who's actually going to contest the elections. And I think while Sashi has mentioned that he would like to put his hat in the ring, there's nothing officially declared as yet. And I haven't heard anybody else speak up at all. So probably you are headed for a situation where there may be no contest, in which case I think it will have to be some kind of a unanimous acceptance of whoever the Congress president prefers to choose. So maybe this is somewhere down the line a manifestation of the fact that the Congress is not...
Isn't that unfortunate? That for the first time in, decades, you have a bunch of congressmen or women who may actually want to have thrown their hat in the ring like Shashi Tharoor, etc. But at the end of the day, you realize it's probably not worth it because the whole thing is just anyway gamed against you.
Yeah, I think I need to be very honest about it, that if the Gandhi family, for example, does not accept a Shashi Tharoor or a Sachin Pilot or anybody else, if they decide to contest and they put up somebody whom they prefer, which could be a Mukul Vasnik or a Ashok Gehlot, I think, I agree with you that they will have no chance at all against an officially mandated choice of the Congress president or the Gandhi family. I think this is an opportunity for the Congress actually to rehabilitate itself because it will send a very positive message. But you're right. I mean, we'll have to wait and see what really plays out.
Khushbu, Sundar, isn't this a problem with all parties? I mean, even when it comes to the BJP, because BJP often points to the Congress and says, dynastic, anti-democratic. But if you look at the way that, let's say, BJP presidents are elected, whether it's Mr. Nadda or before him Amit Shah or whoever, where's the real election, right? It's the same thing.
No, it's not the same thing. There's a lot of difference, Srinivas. We need to understand that BJP, when it comes to power, the decision is not taken by one person. It's not about one-man show here. The entire decision, every decision is taken by the entire team, entire party. It's not a one-man decision. What we have been seeing with Congress, unfortunately, is it's just that it's my way, highway, or no other way. What they decide, what they want to be. And I do not understand when there's one man who does not want to be the president, but he's been pushed by everyone to become the president. He's a very reluctant politician.
Okay, but Khushbu, hold on. When you talk about my way or the highway, are you telling me that when Mr. Amit Shah was made president, there was a contest? There was not. When Mr. J.P. Nadda was made president, was there a contest? There was not. No, there's no contest.
There was not one man's decision. It wasn't a one man's decision. You have a committee, what you have in CWC in Congress, the same way we have our own committee. And there's an entire committee who takes the call. It's not that one person, if Mr. Amit Shah was the president, it's not that Mr. Amit Shah will continue to be the president for the next 20 years, for two decades. If Mr. Nadda is the president, so the next president is going to be Mr. J.P. Nadda.
But by the way,
we are going to move forward.
No, but Khushbu, by the way, it's not in the BJP, as per your own rule book, it's not a committee that elects. It's supposed to be, again, the president's election starts right from the bottom, going all the way up to the top.
Exactly.
Right? So it's the same thing in every, but who follows that? Right? I mean,
everyone follows that from the bottom. Once a decision is taken, there's a lot of homework being done. It's not that you project one person and say that this is going to be the president for the rest of your lives, till the party is alive, and that's it. Nothing can be done about it. No.
Okay.
It's not about family. It's not about dynasty. It's democratically chosen by the people of the party.
You have other panelists shaking their heads. Rohan Gupta of the Congress is here with us. Rohan Gupta, would you agree? I mean, look, let's face it, all parties in India essentially are inherently undemocratic, but is the Congress the most? Because you had the same person for almost over 2 decades. Even now, when there's supposed to be a proper election, it's all turning out to be one-sided.
See, Srinivasan, it is surprising that party which never hold the election or which has never held the election, the spokesperson is talking about democracy. At least Congress is trying. These are the elections, and everybody is open to fight the election. You tell me which other party has held elections. So I think they cannot question us. Point number one. Point number two, talking about the fact that last 20 years only one person or one family. No, that's not the fact. Even when Congress is in problem, when Mr. Sitaram Kesari was the president, it was Sonia Gandhi who became
prior
president.
to 1998. Rohan, my friend, after that,
let me.
It is just Sonia Gandhi gets renominated every 3 years.
See, this is the voice of the party. Nobody can impose the president on the party. And after that, we were in power for 2 terms from 2004 to 2014. So obviously, we have been successful. Number 2, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, he was elected by the party. And then after that, when he knew that, okay, under his leadership, party has not won, he has resigned. Nobody has forced him to resign. And even now, we are holding elections. Can BJP spokesperson or any other party can tell that can they hold election or can they dare to hold election?
All right, let's get, I need to go to Rashid. Let's just get Khushbu to respond. Khushbu? Respond to that. When did you last hold elections? He's saying BJP does not hold elections.
No, that's very unfair, Rohan, because you know, when your own party members, there's a complete group which is showing their dissent, showing their, their own insecurities when it comes to the party presidency and the party itself by and large. People have lost trust.
BJP held elections.
No. BJP has their own election. We do have their own elections. That's why we have a change of people. We do not have one person, heading the party for 20 years. We don't do that. And here again, I say this is not about dynasty. This is not about a family ruling the party. Any party for that matter does not belong to the family. It belongs to the people. They are democratically chosen by the people and the people of the party. And here you have your own party members stepping aside, leaving the party and showing their dissent very openly, saying that we do not believe in the party and its leadership anymore.
Okay, Rashid Kidwai, is the Congress, again, like through this, informal guidance to state units that pass this resolution, empower the Congress president to appoint ABC chief, are they losing a chance here to actually demonstrate that they're willing to have a proper election, which nobody has?
I think, Vasu, we must understand that elections in a political party are very different from elections of assembly or municipality or a parliament, etc. Here is a political party that appoints all office bearers like, the district returning officer, the Pradesh returning officer, and of course the entire Central Congress Election Authority. This is all appointed by Congress president. So that you cannot have former election commissioners to conduct party elections.
I know the norm. I'm saying
journalistic career, in my journalistic career, we have not seen any political party conducting a kind of organizational elections except for the Congress, which did it in 1992 at Tirupati, it did it in 1997 in Calcutta, and it did it in 1999 when Jitendra Prasad contested against Sonia Gandhi. It may have been partial or, as you're saying, weighing in favor of the High Command, but at least elections have taken place. The BJP was formed in 1980. I have not seen any internal election. Consensus is a part of internal party democracy.
Okay, but the point is, we'll just come back to this, but the point is, Sanjay Jha, that it may be one thing to say that we haven't done it in the few times we did it in the past, we haven't done it for all these years, we do it through consensus. But then how do you actually get new leadership? How do you get, a challenge to the established order, which is clearly not able to hold the party together unless you have an election?
Vasu, a very pertinent question. In my opinion, if the Congress party goes ahead and holds these elections and there is a contest, even if it is between people who are likely to lose, it doesn't matter. It will make the party really stake a claim to the fact that it is a national party that is transparent enough and is willing to be open to change. There is no denying. I mean, I have known Rahul for a long time. There's no harm if the Gandhis were dominating it for a while. But, there is a lot of talent within the party that needs to be given visibility, that needs to be given a chance. I believe the BJP is getting away with a lot of, in my opinion, triumphs and victories, because the Congress's perception in the eyes of a lot of people is that it has become, very fuddy-duddy, it's become very fossilized. And because of the fact that it's been there for a long time, it's not to change. And if you change that perception, Congress will get a huge tailwind. So I think it's a question of the party really demonstrating that, that ability to say we are ready to bite the bullet. I think the Bharat Jodo Yatra, in my opinion, is a good step in the right direction.
Right.
And you can see that it's capturing the narrative. An election here today will provide it just the kind of adrenaline push that it needs to be, a serious contender to the BJP.
Okay, the adrenaline push, but again, Khushbu, coming back to this, as Rashid Kedwai was saying, that this is a problem which, while certainly the BJP can argue that it's not in a sense imprisoned or it's not held hostage to a dynasty, the fact is that there's just been no election in recent memory. It's just, it's just diktats saying, XYZ is elected.
No,
Isn't that in the long term unhealthy?
Srinivas, there's no XYZ who have elected in BJP. It's very clear when you give the hand over the leadership to the party president, the role the party president is going to play. It's very clear. He is the decision maker, he decides. But here, right from who's going to be contesting as a booth level has been deciding, people have been deciding right, left and center. There's absolutely no fear about a precedent because there's no precedent
that doesn't
at all.
happen in the BJP?
And this is what I'm saying. There's no transparency. Your own, when you say Jitendra Prasad contested against Sonia Gandhi ji, it's very clear. इस पर नाम के वास्ते यार तुम खड़े हो जाओ, जितना तो और जिताना तो सोनिया जी को ही है.
No, but the argument is,
खड़े हो जाओ.
but the argument, Khushbu, is that at least that happened. For whatever, worth it was worth, there was a contest. The argument here in the case of the BJP, there has never even been such a contest.
No, that's not even a contest. You can't even say that's as a contest. It's for the world to see the way the Congress has been working, and it's very open and clear for the people to see how BJP has been working. Please tell me one president who has 2 consecutive years as a party president in BJP since the time of its formation in 1984. Nothing. Please tell me one leader who has been there continuously. No, there is a way of conducting an election. There is a way of doing it, and this is how we take it forward. Probably the elections held, probably the decisions taken are not for the world to see. But we are very clear. This is how it has to be democratically. Every Congress says, the bylaw says that every 3 years there has to be a change.
Yes.
But please tell me if that is what has been the case here. It's either Sonia Gandhi or you push it on Mr. Rahul Gandhi. Priyanka Gandhi does not want to take it.
Is this Rohan Gupta, is this the Achilles heel? That again I come back, in a field of undemocratic political parties, yours is got the worst.
It's the most undemocratic party.
Again, I am saying Khushbu could not give the date of the elections in BJP, number one. Number two, obviously she has joined new, number one. Number two, and she has joined new, so she is not aware that Mr. Amit Shah completed 2 terms as president, and she should know that.
Please.
Right? So let me complete now. I think you have spoken, let me complete. See, point here is what? Every party has its own style of working, right? Congress is one of the oldest parties. We are trying to change ourselves. At least we have made an effort to change.
Why is it then, Rohan, that nobody wants to contest? Why is nobody willing to contest? Even Shashi Tharoor tried to come out.
Vasu, you cannot question the wisdom of Congress workers. Everybody is open. 2-3 days back, Mr. Jairam Ramesh told that everybody is open to contest. Who stops? We have lakhs and crores of workers. Nobody stops. It's their own choice. So you cannot ask me that why anybody is not contesting. It is open to all the Congress members, all the Congress delegates.
Okay.
The process has been transparent, and you will see when the nominations are filed and the final selections are,
Okay.
and the process is
Rohan.
transparent.
Okay,
You
Khushbu,
cannot
Khushbu.
accuse
Rohan,
us.
I have
You
No, no,
cannot
Khushbu.
accuse
If you
us
say
by
it's
saying
democratic-
that okay, we have. Let me complete, Khushbu. I think
Yes.
I'll answer
No, no.
the question of Vasu. Let me complete 30 seconds. My only point here is, here are the parties which have never held elections. They are asking questions to parties which could at least dare to show the schedule to the people. We have open schedule. Any Congress worker can fight, and you will see the results.
All right, okay. Let Khushbu respond to your point. 2 points he's saying. Number one, Khushbu, name a date when the BJP held elections.
Specific answer.
No, I'll tell you.
Let's
tell
have
you.
a
First,
date, yes.
when you talk about democracy, Rohan,
No,
let me
date,
tell you.
date. Is there a date when the you
No,
can
I
give
don't know.
when the
I don't
BJP
know.
had
I'm
elections?
being very honest. I don't know the date. Like Rohan said, I'm very new. I don't know the date. But let
Okay.
me tell you, if Rohan
There's
says
no
it's
date.
democratically, wait,
It's
Rohan.
not about being
Rohan, I'm
new.
honest.
Okay,
Rohan,
let her
I'm
respond,
not
let
being
her
a
respond.
hypocrite. I don't know. I say I don't know on a national debate. I say I don't know. I'm not being a hypocrite or trying to jump over.
Okay.
But let me tell you, if you're talking about democracy in Congress, let me tell you, when Mr. Rahul Gandhi had resigned and they had asked us to give a name as the next Congress president, and I had suggested Jyotiraditya Scindia, and I was pulled up against the wall that how could I even think of suggesting a name? It has to be only Rahul Gandhi, and you are aware of it, and everybody else in Congress is aware of it. So you can't say that there's democracy
you are
which
speaking
works.
now, you
When
should
I
have spoken
suggested
then,
Jyotiraditya
Khushbu.
Scindia, when he was in Congress,
There is no
I
point
was
in
in
speaking
Congress,
it now.
I
Okay.
was pulled up
Who-
for
You should
have
suggesting a
spoken
name.
then.
Who,
It is
Khushbu, one
Mrs.
second.
Mr. Rahul Gandhi or
Who
nobody
pulled
else.
you up? Khushbu, who is it in the Congress that pulled you up?
Everyone in the Congress, you name it, and everybody were like, how
Again,
could you
like
even
a
think
Can
of
you
that?
name
How
names?
could you even
Specific
suggest? Right from the top to the bottom. And it is therefore very clearly for other Congress members to remember
Right.
this, that how
this
I was
common
pulled
to all
up,
the people who leave
including
Congress?
in everybody, Rohan, even you are aware of it.
Okay,
So
okay.
you can't deny that you are not aware of it.
All right, okay. Rohan, you want to quickly respond? I have to wrap. She's
Yeah,
saying
absolutely.
she named Jyotiraditya Scindia and she was hauled
And
up
why?
for it.
See, again, my question is very simple. If she was holed up, why she was there in party? She should have come openly then. Why after leaving the party? That's
I
not
did.
correct. You have been in a party for so long. You
Arre
should
boss,
not speak
but
like
the
this when you leave the party.
No, but the point is, why would
give
you
the name,
haul her
na?
up for that?
You give the specific name.
Okay.
Give the
No, but I'm
specific
saying
name.
that isn't that that's not the point. Is why would you haul up somebody if they've nominated or
But
suggested
that is
a
something
name
that is a claim.
which is not
Vasu,
Gandhi
that's a
family?
claim.
Why would you haul
She
them
It's
up?
not a
She
claim,
should tell the
Rohan.
name.
It's not a
Okay,
claim,
okay.
Come out
Rohan,
with
my
the
friend.
name now
I'm
on the
afraid you
national
know it
TV
and you don't
when
want to
she's
accept
talking
it.
like this.
But
All right,
that
okay,
is
okay.
part of the Congress
date.
where they don't want to accept the
Okay.
realities.
Okay.
Give the date and the name.
Okay, all right. We'll come back to this because there's still a long road to go in this Congress election story. But thank you all so much for joining us. We're out of time. Thanks for watching. Good night.